Of course, that is the real thing. Falana has come out to tell us that corruption under PDP and a child's play compared to what is happening under APC. Buhari himself is a scam. He said if we don't kill corruption, corruption will kill us. See, I don't belong to anybody, I belong to everybody. We can all see it. We can all see it. Corruption under PDP became child's play under APC. The first is diversion of 40 billion naira from a federation account. A general or a company continental transfer technique had been hired by the Ministry of Interior to collect the combined expatriate residence permits and alien card free of 2,000 per annum from every expatriate in Nigeria. The revenue from 2019 comes to an average of 40 billion naira per annum. This collection, which violates Section 162 of the Constitution and provisions of the Immigration Act 2015, is then shared on percentages of federal government: 30%, 30 Interior Ministry, 7 Immigration Service and Continental Transfer Technique, 58%. We challenged this illegality at the Federal High Court and won the case. The court directed the NIS to collect the funds henceforth and remit same to the federation account, but the contractor and the federal government appealed against the judgment and have continued to share the 40 billion naira per annum. Additional revenue, number two, the additional revenue, $1.5 billion payable to federation accounts. In July 2015, I drew the attention of the federal government to the fact that the 15-year fiscal incentives given to the oil and gas companies operating under the deep offshore and inland basin production sharing contract acts had expired in June 2014. When the federal government ignored our request, we drafted a bill for the amendment of the law. The bill, which was adopted and sponsored by Senator T. Oji, scaled the first reading in the Senate but was not passed before the dissolution of the 8th National Assembly. However, the same bill was modified and passed by both houses of the 9th National Assembly and assented to by Buhari on November 4th, 2019. In justifying the passage of the bill, Senate President Ahmad Lawal announced that the new law would increase the revenue of the nation by not less than 1.5 billion per annum. Another one is number three is outstanding royalties of $62 billion. Another one, federal government denied revenue of $500 million by a group of corrupt public officers. Also, the fifth one is a sale of public assets and enterprises. The other sixth is a $7 billion fixed in 14 banks. Sometime in 2006, the CBN yanked off $7 billion from the nation's foreign reserves and fixed it in 14 commercial banks in Nigeria. The deposits and the accrued interest were not recovered from the banks. When I reported the matter to one of the anti-graft agencies, the CBN claimed that it had forgiven the forbearance. The seventh one is the sale of Heritage Bank, Keystone Bank, Union Bank, and Polaris by CBN. They were sold to the thefts in crude oil, the Nigerian extraction industry transparency. The ninth one is theft of gold and other solid minerals. Amcon, the 10th one is Amcon is owed 5.4 trillion naira by the rich. A few years ago, commercial banks were going to collapse due to toxic loans taken by members of the ruling class to prevent the impending economic doom. The federal government set up the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria to pay off the loans with trillions of naira provided by the CBN. AMCO has not been able to recover the loan of 5.4 trillion naira from about 370 corporate bodies. They pay for them, those who owed. Another is the indiscriminate import duty waivers. Efforts, number 12 is efforts to track and monitor tankers conveying fuel sabotage by NNPC. 13. 10 trillion naira diverted by CEOs of government enterprise. The 14th reason is that 6 trillion naira unpaid government rent by buyers of government properties. 15. Stolen crude oil valued at a $29.17 billion. It's a 16. Oil theft of 16.25 trillion naira. Okay. 17. Deduction of collection costs of FIRS and NCS. Yes. Diversion, also number 18. Diversion of a $6.5 billion approved for turnaround maintenance of refineries between 1999 and 2016. Successive regimes spent through the NNPC about a $6.065 billion on the so-called turnaround maintenance and rehabilitation of the four refineries at various times. It is public knowledge that the turnaround maintenance of the refineries was not carried out. Therefore, the contractors should be invited by the EFCC and compelled to refund the same sum of 6.2 or $6.025 billion. Okay, you see plenty. 19th one is investment in Dangote refinery and rehabilitation of four refineries. You know what happened in that regard. Special salaries for top public officers, security votes, and pension for government. 21. Diversion of dividends and feed gas of a $33 billion by NNPCL. Diversion, that's number 22. Diversion of trillions of naira or fuel through fuel subsidy fund. You see there, una no go. In conclusion, it is crystal clear from the foregoing that members of the ruling class are heavily subsidized by the peripheral capitalist system, while the masses are subjected to excruciating economic pains. We are therefore compelled to call on the Nigeria Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress, as well as the progressive extraction of the civil society, to mount pressure on the federal government to stop the dollarization of the national economy, indiscriminate grants of duty waivers, theft of crude oil, gold, and other mineral resources, and recover the nation's looted wealth. In other words, these subsidies should be recovered while the nation's refineries are fixed, so that the country can provide genuine subsidies that can make life livable in Nigeria. Really? Continue to advise them, and they will do nada. They will do nada. Forget it. Buhari is the most corrupt Nigerian president ever. Tinubu must arrest that criminal immediately. Which Tinubu? Tinubu has no moral justification. They are partners in crime. The truth is that in good country, Tinubu has no moral. Even to contest, they are the same evil by God. Why are you covering issues? So guys, that's what we say.